देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. ओम ओम नारायण नारायण. We were 66, I think. Yeah, we were discussing 66. In these things, how Shastra, Shastrasyapi avidya purassaratvat. Okay, this we have already discussed. This paragraph is over. How Shastra also is avidya kalpita. How can avidya kalpita shastram can reveal satyam? For that, the answer we have discussed already. What is that? Two answers he is going to give. One answer he has given. One kalpita can negate another kalpita. Nothing wrong in it. Just because shastram is kalpitam, it's not necessary that he cannot reveal the fact. We have given many examples in the last class how a kalpita also can suggest a real fact. A kalpita also can point out the real fact. Okay, now coming to the next point. Nachasti shastra jnana badhakam. Second point. You could object to shastra only if what shastra teaches. Okay, shastra is kalpitam, so what? If what shastra reveals, is it contradicted, is it falsified by any other pramana? See, a person told something. A person is a liar. This is another example, I got it now. A person generally is not a a person who speaks truth, a habitual liar. A person is a habitual liar. So more often he tells lies. But once it happened that he was asked and he told something. And now when you find that what he told is confirmed, by other means, when you find that what he told happens to be true, and when you go in there and really you found what he told was true, now what can you do for that? He may be a habitual liar. He must have told lies in many other places. Yet in this particular point, what he told has come out to be true. Then what can you do? You have to accept, isn't it? You have to accept. So, kalpitam, don't go by whether shastra is kalpitam or not. Because one reason which we have discussed in the previous class is a kalpitam also can negate another kalpitam. A kalpitam, an imaginary thing, can be negated by another imaginary. That was one answer. Now second answer is nachastri shastra jnana badhakam. What shastra reveals is you are Brahman. That I am Brahman, that I am a pure consciousness, this is what Shastra teaches. Now, can you negate that you are a self-existing fact? See, take it, why go unnecessarily? Let us see. Now, anything in the world you can dismiss from your thought, from your consciousness. Anything you look at this wall, world, prapancha, sun and moon and the star and everything, you can forget it. You can throw it out of your consciousness, isn't it? You can forget it. Can you dismiss yourself? Can you negate yourself? You can negate everything else. Can you negate yourself? Nobody can negate. Nobody can negate oneself. My existence is self-existence. and everything else comes later. Everything else comes later, isn't it? So I am the self-existing one. My self-existence is self-established. This is a beautiful point. Self-existence is self-established. That means neither you can negate it, nor you need a confirmation. Nobody can dispute it. That I exist can neither be disputed, can neither be negated, can be contradicted, because anything else comes only based upon my existence. So regarding the my existence, Shastra says, you are not the body, mind and sense organs. Body, mind and sense organs go away from your experience. You can forget them. You can forget them, you can negate them, you can dismiss them, you can exist without the body, but can you exist without yourself being existence? My existence is self-evident, nobody can refute it. Therefore he says, Shastra Jnanam Badhakam. This is a Ramanuja Paksha. Atmaikatva Vidya Pratipattaye Sarve Vedantaha Arabhyante. In these things, the followers of Ramanujacharya raised an objection. That is, how can Advitiya Atma cannot be Advitiyam. For that answer was given how Atmaikatvam is possible. Second point, how can the Shastra which is Avidya Kalpitam can reveal Satyam? It can reveal. One answer was one Kalpita can negate another Kalpita. That was the first. Second argument is that Shastram, when it reveals something, what it reveals cannot be negated by other. How? Nanu Bada Bhave Pinirjana. Here some point I say. A point will be refuted by either the same pramana. For example, with what is seen by pratyaksha, like the snake. You saw the snake by perception. You perceived the snake. After little more thorough examination, you see that no, it is not snake, it is rope. So with the same perception, after duly examining, it changed. It appeared to be something else. But again and again you examine it 10 times, 20 times. Now your rope is not changing. Rope is remaining. That means with your perception, earlier you corrected something. Now the same thing, after repeatedly checking, it happens to be rope and nothing but rope alone. That is finalized. So a contradiction can happen with the same pramana when you properly verify. That means, now here the question comes. First the perception has revealed snake. Later the same perception has contradicted it and negated. Now are you telling that the same pramana negates itself? No, not in that sense. Pramana is not negating itself. See, pratyaksha is not negating pratyaksha. Pratyaksha pramana, there were certain pratibandhas, there were certain doshas. Okay? Pramana doshas was there. The thing was very far away from you, or there was no sufficient light, or I was in a hasty and hurry, my mind was disturbed. See, these are all pratibandhakas for the pratyaksha pramana. These are vignas or doshas for pratyaksha pramana. So for the pratyaksha pramana to operate, the proper suitable condition should be obtained. If the conditions are not suitable, then you happen to perceive something. Then after bringing the suitable conditions, the same pratyaksha reveals the fact. See, if you are trying to see an object, the object is too far, you can't see. If it is too close to you, you can't see. You have to keep it a certain proper distance. Proper distance is required to see an object. Then sufficient light is required. If the light is too heavy, if there is too much light, you can't see. If there is too little light also, you can't see it clearly. Therefore, there should be a sufficient light. Okay. proper distance, then mind also should not be in a hurry. If your mind is preoccupied, disturbed, hurry, under tension, you won't see the things properly. Mind also should be relaxed. Okay, mind should not be prejudiced. All these things. So the mind, conditions of the mind, conditions of the eyes, distance, light, all these are pramana upakarini. All these are helpful to the pramana. They help the pramana to remove the pramana dosha. Sometimes tarka is required to remove the pramana dosha. Sometimes you apply the logic to clear the pramana. That means other alien factors, secondary factors, which are not cooperating, which are obstructing the pramana functioning. So by tarka, you eliminate the other defects, then clear the path of pramana, then pramana can reveal the facts directly. Therefore, here, in this example of in a first look, you thought it to be a snake. After due thoroughly checking, you found that no, it is not snake, it is rope alone. Okay? This is pratyaksha, after duly checking, arrives at or ascertains. When it ascertains, it becomes clear. But sometimes what one pramana says is contradicted by others. Okay, you see the sun is rising and setting, but Anumana Pramana says no. Rising and setting is an appearance, but it is not a reality. Okay, sun is rising, traveling and setting is an appearance, but it is not a reality. Okay, it is not a reality. So when the Anumana Pramana proves that sun is stationary, it is the earth that is moving. But when it comes to earth, you think that earth is stationary, whereas the sun is moving. So this perception is contradicted by Anumana. Okay, this perception is contradicted by Anumana Pramana. Okay, now here what one Pramana says, the same Pramana says differently. After duly checking it, after clearing the Pramana, first example in the snake and the rope. Second example, what perception says is contradicted by Anumana. Okay. So here, what one pramana says is negated by another pramana. Therefore, whatever one says should not contradict the other pramanas. Okay? Should not contradict other pramana, should not contradict already proven facts. So whatever you discover newly, whatever you come to understand something new, it shouldn't contradict already proven facts. This is important. If it goes against the proven facts, then you can't accept it. Therefore here, Nanucha Badha Bhavi. Now he says, what Shastra is revealing that you are Brahman? Tell me, do you have any pramana to show that you are a self-existing, all-pervasive fact? You are all-pervasive. All anubhavas of the world, the entire waking world appears to you and goes away from you. That means you are able to, you can know the entire world, but the world can disappear, still you can survive. You can survive the world, but you always exist. You can never miss yourself. You can never negate yourself. You can never negate yourself. You can never miss yourself in any experiences. In any experiences of your life, when one experience is, other experience goes away. But you yourself is pervading all your experiences. Your Atma or your own presence, your own existence pervades all your experiences. Your own existence is pervading all your experiences. Therefore, your existence is universal, all pervasive in all the experiences. And that your existence, do you have any pramana to negate your own existence? None. Therefore, he says, There is no pramana to negate what Shastra says that you are Brahman. When Shastra says you are Brahman, nobody can negate it. There is no pramana for it to negate. Is there a pramana says that you are not Brahman? Brahman means what? You are always existing, self-existing. Is there any pramana says that no, you are not existing all the time? If somebody says that, how will you understand that? Even to listen to that Vakya, you must exist. Have you ever seen your own absence? Simple logic, I tell you. Have you, those who say Jiva is not Brahman, Shastra is telling that you are not Brahman, Atatvamasi, you question. Can you ever see absence of you? Can you ever see absence of you? Impossible to see. Because you always exist. Your existence can never be negated, never be contradicted, never be erased. Then when your existence is all the time present, then you are Satasiddha. One point. Time-wise, you are always existing. Pramana-wise, you don't need antakarana vritti. Three things I say. Pramana-wise, your existence is not dependent upon pramana. Pramana means any vritti. You don't depend upon pramana, any antakarana vritti doesn't reveal you. You exist and you are aware of vritti coming and going. Antakarana coming and going, you are witness of it. Therefore, you don't need another thing to prove your existence. So you are not pramana siddha, you are aprameya. Okay. Then time-wise, you are eternal. Because you can never think of your absence. You always exist and everything else exists within you, but your existence is everlasting, eternal. You can never think of your own absence. Okay? Time-wise, you are eternal. Pramana-wise, you are independent of any pramana. Okay? Then space-wise, you are all pervasive. That means all the waking experience, entire waking, throughout the waking world, you are existing. You go anywhere, travel in your entire waking world. In all your experiences, your consciousness, your sakshitvam is intact. Intact. You never miss it. You never go away. Entire waking world comes and goes. You pervade the entire waking state. You pervade the dream state. You swallow the two states. You swallow the waking state, dream state, and you survive. That shows you are all pervasive. You are pervading the entire state. Therefore, from the space-wise, you are all pervasive. Time-wise, you are eternal. Pramana-wise, you are Swatasiddha. Because no vritti can prove your existence. No vritti can negate your existence. All vrittis are known in your consciousness. Consciousness cannot be comprehended by a thought. Thoughts come and go. You have an experience of thoughtlessness. Okay. That you exist, you are aware of thought going away. Again, you are aware of thought. You are aware of thought, you are aware of thought coming to an end. But you can never see ending of yourself. Isn't it? Therefore, you are Brahman. You are eternal. You are self-existent. And people say that, no, Shruti says you are not Brahman. Is there any meaning? Your existence is eternal. Your eternality, your existence, your all-pervasiveness, whole world can disappear. Whole world can be swallowed. But you cannot disappear. You cannot negate yourself. You are surviving all experiences. You are pervading all experiences. 2 points you can see. You are surviving all experiences. You are pervading all experiences. You are underlying all experiences. Even Ishvara, you are underlying. If in your apps, Ishvara, you can forget, you can think and you can forget Ishvara. Can you forget yourself? Can you forget yourself? Can you negate yourself? You can negate Ishvara. That's why you have got atheist. Atheists are also proving one thing. I tell you, for atheist, God is not there. But atheists prove one fact. You can make use of atheist. They prove means not that they can prove, But you can make use of the atheist and learn some fact. That means atheist can exist without thinking of Ishvara. They can negate Ishvara and exist. That means they can exist without a thought of Ishvara. They don't think of Ishvara. They think Ishvara may not be there. Agnostics say Ishvara may not be there. Atheists say Ishvara doesn't exist. Now what will you do? So, because that means you can remove the thought of Ishvara and can live. But you can't negate your Sakshitvam. Even the thought is known to you as a Sakshi. Your Sakshitvam cannot be negated. Your Sakshitvam is eternal, all-pervasive and independent of any pramana, any vritti, independent of any avastha. Then you are Brahman. Then what do you think of Brahman? This is what Brahman is. Then they say, now we are asking, what Shruti says nobody can contradict. That you are Brahman cannot be contradicted, is not contradicted by Pratyaksha, because Pratyaksha cannot reveal your self-existence. Anumana cannot negate, because Anumana, your Swata Siddhatvam, your Brahmatvam is not a matter of Anumana. That my Brahmatvam, my consciousness is not a matter of Pratyaksha, is not a matter of Anumana, not even a matter of Shruti. Does Shruti say that Atatvamasi? Shruti cannot say. Whom does it say? Atatvamasi. You are not Ishvara. First thing is, a common man, a jiva knows that I am not Ishvara. So, if Shruti comes and tells you, you are not Ishvara, that is nothing new. I already knew it. I tell you, I know better than you, Shruti. You better keep quiet. Because you have to learn from me. The Shruti is only repeating what I already know. What is the use? If Shruti repeats what you already know, it is ridiculous. It is not Shruti. Second point, if Shruti says that I am Brahman, now can Shruti contradict it? How does it contradict? Let me tell me. I am not eternal, does it say? I am not all-pervasive, can it say? I am independent of all pramana, can it say? It can't say. So, can it negate it? Sorry, can it negate that my eternity, my all-pervasiveness, my independent of all pramana, self-existence? My self-existence can Shruti negate? When it cannot negate, then that means that my Brahmatvam Shruti is unable to negate. Nobody is able to negate because it is self-established fact. Therefore, what Shruti says that you are Brahman, you have no way of contradicting it. No pramana comes in the way. All the pramanas get erased, but I stand. What a beautiful thing. I stand as Swata Siddham. My Siddhi doesn't depend upon any pramana. Even Shastra cannot negate my presence. Okay. Therefore, Jivatvam, Atma is not limited, all pervasive we have told. Because all experiences come and go. You are surviving all experiences. You are pervading all experience. This is what makes Jiva as Brahman. The entire world, the entire time you are pervading. Because you stand timeless. The time is within your consciousness. You stand as timeless. You stand as worldless. Nishprapanchaha. Because timeless means you pervade the entire time. Time depends upon you. Time is created within you. Time is imagined within your existence. You are a timeless existence. Similarly, you are a Nishprapancha existence. Prapancha is imagined within you, within your existence. And you can dismissing the Prapancha, you stand. That shows that you are Brahman. Now show me which pramana can dismiss my Brahmatvam, can negate my Brahmatvam. Brahmatvam means all pervasiveness. The entire waking state, dream state and all states I am aware of. Even after the states are dismissed, I stand. Now who can negate it? who can negate my non-duality. Therefore, what Shastra says can never be negated. I don't know why people are so unjust to themselves. Those who say that I am Dvaitam is alone is true, that means I am not pervasive, that I can dismiss myself, that I am time bound, that I am space bound, that I am one, what I am what you call a limited being. All this is, you are only doing injustice to yourself. You are only doing agraha. You are stubbornly doing injustice to yourself. You don't imagine, don't impose, don't do adhyasa upon yourself. Just leave yourself. Allow yourself to be what you are. Just allow yourself. Don't imagine. Don't imagine, don't impose. Allow yourself to be what you are. You are by nature Brahman. That's all. Brahman means what? You are everything. That means there is nothing which you are not. There is nothing which you are not. That means every experience presupposes you. That's what simply means. Every experience presupposes you. Even the experience of the world presupposes you. Negation of the world presupposes you. But there is nothing that can negate you. What a beautiful thing it is. Everything presupposes you. Without taking you as a basis, can you have anything else on the earth? This is what Brahmatvam means. Brahma is self-existent. Brahma presupposes everything else. Everything else can be dismissed and you exist. That means you naturally exist. Satasiddha. You are Satasiddha. Why do you want to deny Satasiddha? Why do you want to impose? You don't impose anything, just leave yourself. You be, let your Atma be what it is. Let yourself be what it is. I say, those who say, I am not Brahman, I am limited, I am not Ishvara, you are only unnecessarily insulting yourself, I tell, slapping yourself, insulting yourself that no, I am not eternal, I am not saying, I am not eternal is a foolish statement. That nobody can see that I come to an end. Do you ever see that your own ending? When you can't see your ending, then you are eternal. You are timeless. When you are timeless, then whole world, you are even beyond the world because the whole world depends on you. What a simple, straight anubhava. Straight, simple anubhava. Why don't you allow Atma to be what it is? What else can you do? You only imagine unnecessary things. Your mind is imagining lot of things. Okay, your mind is imagining lot of things, and imagining your self-existing Brahmatvam as not Brahman. I tell you, even to imagine you are not Brahma, you have to be Brahma. Even to imagine that I am not Brahma, even to negate your Brahmatvam, you require to be Brahma. Even to negate your Brahmatvam, you have to be exist, isn't it? That means you can negate Ishvara. Can you tell me out of Ishvara and Jiva, which is negatable? Negatable means which you can negate the thought of Ishvara. What you can negate, what you cannot negate? Come on, tell me. You can forget Ishvara and exist. Can you forget yourself and exist? Can you forget your existence? Nobody can do that. You can't erase your existence, but you can forget Ishvara. Ishvara can forget us and you can forget Ishvara. That means if you think Ishvara is something other than you, the very thought of other than you dismisses it. Dismisses Ishvara as non-existent. That's why atheists say there is no proof for Ishvara. But you question him, is there a proof for your existence? Simple question. You ask Dvaitins, atheist, two people, that's all. Both of them combine, Advaita is proven. You ask an atheist, where is Ishvara? He himself says there is no proof for Ishvara. Then that means you can forget Ishvara. You can dismiss Ishvara, but can you dismiss yourself? No, that I can't do. That means there is something which cannot be dismissed. That's what is Ishvara. What cannot be dismissed, what cannot be forgotten is Ishvara. Okay? Dvaitins say, Shastra teaches that you are not Ishvara. Okay? Dvaitins say, Shastra tells you that you are not Ishvara. Why does Shastra has to say? He says, common man thinks that, ordinary jiva thinks that I am Ishvara. And therefore Shruti has to say that you are not, Ishvara is something separate. If Shruti puts Ishvara is something separate, then I can forget him. I can forget him because he is separate. He is separate. Before Shruti teaches where is Ishvara. If Ishvara is something away from me other than me, but before Shruti teaches, then I don't even know him. That means he doesn't even exist for me. That shows that my existence is unnegatable. Ishvara's existence is comfortably forgotten, safely forgotten, safely negated. Therefore, Ishvara, so what is unnegatable is Ishvara. What is unnegatable is Paramatma. Therefore, my Brahmatvam is self-existent, self-proven. My Brahmatvam is self-proven. Nobody can try to disprove your own existence. Nobody can disprove one's own existence. That proves your Brahmatvam. Therefore, you have no pramana. You have no pramana to dismiss yourself. All pramanas can be thrown away and you stand. Your existence stands on its own. How beautiful it is. You don't have to prove Advaitam. Everybody else, atheist, Dvaitins themselves are proving Advaitam. See, is it not a wonder that a person can think of absence of Ishvara, no Ishvara? A person can think of no Ishvara. Have you ever thought of it? Atheist can think that there is no Ishvara and live comfortably. They live happily and safely they live without thinking of Ishvara. That shows that Ishvara's thought can be put out. But you can't put out your own existence. What a beautiful. That shows your existence is Atma. Your existence is Ishvara. Your existence is Paramatma. That is what cannot be negated is Ishvara. What can be forgotten? But those who say Ishvara is separate from you, you are telling automatically that you can forget Ishvara. When you say Ishvara is other than you, that very thought of other than you can say that you can forget him. You can forget him easily. Ayyo Rama. When Ishvara is other than you, you can forget him. When you can forget him, then he is not a Ishvara at all, poor fellow. What cannot be forgotten is Ishvara. What cannot be negated is Ishvara. This is what Advaita says. What cannot be negated, what cannot be forgotten, what cannot be dismissed. It is self-existent. Okay. Therefore, there is no Badakam for Shastra Jnana. What Shastra says that you are Brahman, that means you are unnegatable. What Shastra is saying is unnegatable. Then when you are unnegatable, then you are all pervasive. Now who can negate this fact? That means your unnegatability can be negated. Your all pervasiveness can be negated. It can't. Then that's over. That's what Brahmatvam is. What Shastra says, nobody can contradict. Nobody can negate. Neither Shastra itself can do, nor perception can do, nor Anumana can do. Isn't it? Therefore, your self-existence is self-proven. Your Brahmatvam is self-proven. Only your mind thinks, mind is looking somewhere. Don't look at elsewhere, just look at here. That's what Shastra says. Your mind is preoccupied with something else. Say, don't be preoccupied. Leave it. Come back to yourself. You remove the preoccupation. You are self-existent. How beautiful it is. Therefore, nachasti shastra jnana badhakam. There is nothing to negate what Shastra says about you that you are Brahman. What Shastra says about you that you are Brahman cannot be negated, and there is nobody can do anything about it. It is a swatasiddha fact. Therefore, nanu bada bhavepi nirjana pradesha sthita taimirika jnanavan mityasyadityuktam. Abba, some silly argument. Shall I say? I'm feeling very tired. Anyway, I'll just rest for a few seconds and I speak. Okay, I'll speak. Bada bhavepi nirjana pradesha sthita taimirika jnanavat mithyasyaaditya ityuktam na vaishamyat yuktam tatra jnatrtvasya anuvritteardvaita jnanasya abaditatvat chandradvitva jnanasya shankita mithyatvam मिथ्यात्व संशयो वा इह पुनः शास्त्रेण ज्ञातृत्वस्यैव अपनोदनात् प्रमाण प्रमेय व्यवहारस्यैव अपबादे सति न काचित् शंका शक्यते कल्पयितुमिति ननु बाधा भावेपि निर्जन प्रदेशस्थित तैमिरिक ज्ञानवत्. He says, what Shastra says, a very peculiar argument, kutarka, but doesn't matter. If it is a kutarka, one good thing about kutarka is it can be easily dismissed. Only problem is the kutarka himself is caught up. When there is a weak logic, when there is a foolish logic, when there is a meaningless logic, when there is an illogical logic, one good thing is that it can be easily dismissed. And one bad thing about it is a person who is under that logic, who is proposing such a logic, can never be convinced because he is a curse to himself. A person who uses kutarka, a person who uses foolish logic, meaningless logic, is a curse to himself. That means he is caught up, he is entrapped. He is entrapped in his own meaningless logic, and he cannot come out. You cannot convince him, but you can understand how foolish he is. This is the most important thing. Therefore, don't try to convince others unless the person is willing to learn. Brahma Tattvam can be taught to only a Jignasu. Jignasu is a person who is willing to learn, who is willing to open his mind. He is willing to learn, he is willing to probe, willing to do vichara. If he refuses to do vichara, refuses to further think and observe, and he wants to stubbornly remain in his thinking where he is, nobody can do anything. A person who is closing his own mind, stubbornly holding on to one idea, doesn't want to open and question and then go deeply into it, then he is only trapping himself. He is trapping himself in his own wrong thought, in his own adhyasa. Therefore, atmaiva atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmana. You are every person is a shatru to himself and mitra to himself. If you entrap yourself, you are a shatru. If you make your mind open, then you have a chance of liberation, isn't it? Therefore, here you see, Purva Pakshi says, Badha Bhevya Abhavepi. He says, no, Siddhantin told what Shastra says that you are Brahman cannot be negated. Siddhanti told. Purva Pakshi says, even if you cannot negate it, still it is wrong. Hey, how is that? Even if you cannot negate, it is wrong? What does it mean? What does it mean? People think that they are intelligent. I tell you, more intelligent fellows entrap themselves. Their intellect is a big curse to people. The over-intelligence only is a curse to them. They think by being intelligent, we are dismissing Advaita. A fellow who dismisses Advaita is only insulting himself. He is only doing injustice to himself. You say that I am not Brahman. Is it a great credit to you? Is it a matter of credit to you that you are a samsari, you are a dukkhi, you are subject to birth and death and you are limited being? Is it a great credit for you? That you are not Ananda Swarupa, you are dukkhi, samsari, jiva. Is it a great credit to you? Yes, I believe that I am not Brahman. I am a samsari, I am a dukkhi. Huh? Is it a great matter of pride for you? That you are an Ananda Swarupa, eternal, self-existing and self-shining. That is the greatness of you. If you recognize yourself as this fact, it is a greatness for you. If you don't recognize, if you dismiss yourself and do injustice to yourself, and you feel that I am proud that I am not Brahman, Ayyo Rama, you don't know whether to pity them or we don't know what to do with them. We can only pity them and leave them. What else can they do? All these Dvaitins are anukrosha, anukampaniyaha. As Shankaracharya says, these Dvaitins can only be anukampaniyaha. Anukampa means they are only to be pitied. Otherwise, what can they do? Poor fellows, sincerely trapping themselves, intelligently trapping themselves. It's a wonder of the wonders. You are highly intelligent. You are very sincere. But you trap yourself. Abba, what a pitiable. Therefore, be humble. Oh God, don't give me such an intelligence that I get trapped myself. Oh God, don't make me so sincere. Sincere means such a kind of sincerity that I start believing my own wrong thinking as true. That means your sincerity, your intelligence is preventing your self-enquiry. Oh God, don't give me such an intelligence which prevents me from self-questioning, which prevents me from my self-enquiry. If your intelligence, your all scholarship, your sincerity, if can forcibly prevent you from further inquiring, from further openness, what will you do with all that sincerity, all that intelligence, all that scholarship, which prevents you from further questioning and understanding the truth? What is spontaneous is the truth. Truth is natural, spontaneous. Spontaneous means self-existence. It doesn't need to be proven. It is beyond proof. Truth is beyond proof. This is an interesting thing. Truth is beyond proof. Beyond proof means what? It doesn't need a proof and its proof cannot be negated. See, it doesn't need a proof, but the already existing proof cannot be disproven. I don't know whether you understand my language. It all looks very, very contradictory language. It is beyond proof. It means it doesn't need a proof. The proof which he already has cannot be disproven. Okay? The proof it has cannot be disproven. It is self-proven and you cannot disprove its self-proof. You listen again and contemplate on these things. Those who have understood. Those who have not understood, you have to again do contemplation on that. Your self-existence is self-existence that it cannot be disproven because it is already proven. It is proven beyond proof. That means it doesn't need a proof, nor any other proof can dismiss its proven fact. It is a self-proven fact. Therefore, it is so natural, so self-proven that you are already existing. What can you do? You can't do anything with it. Assuming your self-existence alone, all world perception, all worldly vyavahara is going on. Sarvopi vyavaharaha goes on presupposing your existence as Brahman. Within your Brahmatvam alone, you are seeing the time, space, world and birth and death and body, mind, sense organs, entire world. Only in the background of Atma, Swatasiddha Atma. Okay. Therefore, Purvapakshi says, shall we discuss this point? Bada bhavepi. Shruti says that you are Brahman. Purvapakshi says, okay, even if we cannot dismiss that you are Brahman. See, the Purvapakshi is very peculiar argument. You think over it. I think I will answer in the next class. But first, let me tell you the Purvapakshi's argument. Yes, even though we cannot disprove your Advaitam, you are talking of Advaitam. That Atma is Advitiyam. Though I cannot disprove your Advitiyam, yet it is Mithya, yet it is wrong. How? You cannot disprove Advaitam, yet it is Mithya, yet it is wrong. How? How? Very peculiar fellows. See, his argument is intelligent, extraordinary intelligent he is using. He is using a very intelligent argument only to curse himself, only to do injustice to himself. See the argument. Bada bhavepi. Even though I cannot disprove that you are Brahman, yet it is wrong. When you cannot disprove it, how can you say it is wrong? No, I mean that it might be wrong. You're shifting your standpoint again. First you say it is wrong. Second you say it might be wrong. How? No, I can suspect that it might be wrong, though I cannot dismiss it. Shall I tell you? These are the days. Utter fools, I am telling. Pause for, I'm sorry to say, I'm not telling, because I have to tell the facts as they are. When you are talking of the facts, I'm not talking of any person. See, you see these days many people talk like that. He keep on criticizing ruthlessly nonsense. And he says, you are wrong, I am all this telling. Boldly he talk, I am telling. But I may be wrong, I am not infallible. I'll criticize you ruthlessly, I have a freedom. I have a freedom to criticize you, call you as a fool, and everything, every nonsense I can call you. But I don't say that I am infallible. What is this? He has proven himself to be utter fool, isn't it? Beyond doubt, he has proven himself to be utter fool. See, what does he mean? I feel more and more fellows talking like this. I say, I criticize ruthlessly. You are wrong. You are all the things. I abuse you. I'll say everything. But I say, I don't say that I'm infallible. One fellow came and he criticized me. I was teaching Vedanta, that you are Brahman. Same thing, what I spoke today. I think more or less the same thing in a slightly different words, that you are a Swatah Siddham. Shruti is telling you and all those things. After listening to that, he's a person came from Delhi. I was speaking in Hyderabad in my class. And he came from Delhi, some of the students' relative. And he's a young person, and he's a professor. And he got a good best teacher award. Best lecturer award or something, he got an award. And he came and he sat in my class. After listening to all these things, all this is meaningless, and he told. Just because you say that everything Brahman, that can't be this thing, you can't say like that and all. And after saying everything, I may be wrong, but I can't stop my criticism. I can't accept you. I may be wrong, but I can't accept you. I have to criticize you. I have to reject you. I may be wrong, but I reject you. What does it mean? What does it mean? He's making a fool of himself. These days it has become fashion. I thought one person is talking like that. Now when I start using the Facebook, I see most of the people talk like this only. He keep on ruthlessly, foolishly criticize, and I say, am I telling that I am infallible? I may be wrong. But when you are wrong, when you suspect that you could be wrong, when you say that you might be wrong, then why are you so boldly argue? When you have a suspicion that you might be wrong, see, this is the mistake I am pointing out. When you suspect that you might be wrong, and you are not sure that you are right, then why do you criticize others and assert that you are not right? This is a very strange kind of modern argument. I don't know. Do you see? In my argument what he says? People boldly say, shall I tell you some point? He's a very popular person, very VIP in India. He's considered as a great intellectual. If you don't mind my taking his name, If you don't mind, I tell you, Ambedkar argues like that. He keeps on arguing, oh, Hinduism is like that and foolish, and dismisses and all this. Then he says, I'm not infallible. He's a great lawyer. Bah, lawyers talk so intelligently. This is the way lawyers talk it. And say he's a lawyer, he's a great logical thinker, he's a rational thinker. Everybody appreciates it. Everybody praises him that he is impeccable, logical thinker. Now you see his logical thinking. He keeps on criticizing Hinduism, and they say that, I didn't say that I am infallible. I may be infallible. I may be fallible. Okay? That means I might be wrong. Then if you have a doubt that, if you suspect that you might be wrong, then why boldly argue and keep on telling that others are wrong, and I am all? And why do you assert your position and then dismiss others' position, and yet you say that I might be wrong? Is there any meaning? When you say you might be wrong, and still you are bolder than your suspicion. You suspect that you might be wrong. You are not sure that you are right. Yet you boldly assert. And if you challenge him, then you say, I might be wrong, but still I have got a right to speak. Your freedom is a curse upon you. What has your freedom achieved for you? What has your freedom achieved for you by talking like this? It's a foolishness. And these days people are talking like this. Probably in those days also. Anyway, time is up, and I'll just I'll complete my Purvapaksha. Answer I will do in the next class. So let me complete. Now you see how Purvapaksha is arguing. Bada bhavepi. You cannot negate that you are Brahman. Your Brahmatvam cannot be negated, yet it might be wrong. I say it might be wrong. First he told, yes, it is wrong. How can you say it is wrong? Show me. No, it might be wrong. He shifted it. Tell me how it might be wrong. I don't have to tell you. When you cannot show, when you have admitted that you cannot negate it, then it is over. Your argument is, you have contradicted yourself. You have made a self-goal. These days, those who make self-goal alone are great people. You have made a self-goal. Yet, out of pity for you, I am asking you, come on, tell me your argument so that I can help you to prevent your self-goal. All that we can only help these Dvaitins, all kind of Dvaitins, means all kind of non-Advaitins is only, we can only help them not to make self-goal. We can only help them out of pity not to make self-goal if they pay attention to us, if they listen to us. All these non-Advaitins. Otherwise, they are only making self-goals only. Okay, now you see his self-goal here. Nirjana Pradesha Sthita. He gives an example. There is a person, Taimirika person. Taimirika means a person suffering from cataract. You give me 1 or 2 minutes, though time is up. So I'll complete this question and answer in the next class. He is suffering from cataract. So a person, he is suffering from cataract, at the same time he is in the remote place, somewhere in a forest or somewhere in a Nirjana Pradesha. Either in a forest or in a desert where there is no another person other than himself. He is all alone, solitary person, and is suffering from cataract. When he looks at the moon, he sees the 2 moons. And he thinks that 2 moons are Satyam. He cannot negate it. Now, is there any pramana for him to negate that the second moon is false? He cannot prove it. He cannot prove that the second moon is false and one moon alone, Advaita moon alone, is right. Because in order to negate his perception, in order to negate the perception, he requires another person to compare with. He requires another person to compare with. But there is no another person, a healthy person to compare with, healthy person who has no cataract. He is all alone and is suffering from cataract. He doesn't have another person who has got healthy eyes, who has no cataract. if he has got if there were another person, he could have compared and understood, oh, my perception is wrong, my eyes are wrong, that's why I am seeing the second moon. So there must be something wrong with my eyes because I am able to compare with another person. But if there is no person other than you, you are all alone. What can you do? You think that though you are seeing the second moon, you think that second moon alone is right. But that second moon is wrong simply because you are suffering from cataract and there is no another person to show the contrast and dismiss your perception of the second moon. Therefore, he says, Advaitam cannot be dismissed. Still, there is nobody to compare with. There is nobody to contrast. Therefore, you think that your Advaitam is true. See. For this, the reply we'll give you in the next class. Okay. Pradeshastita taimerika jnanavan mityasyaditya ityuktam. It could be wrong. See, your second moon might be wrong, though you are unable to understand that it is wrong, but still it might be wrong. It is wrong, but you are unable to understand how it is wrong because there is nobody else to compare with. Like this, you may not be able to prove it, but still there is a possibility of it being mithya. See, to this, Siddhanti replies. What he replies, we'll see in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tatsat.